India shares 4,000 kilometers of border with Bangladesh. It is one of the longest physical boundaries on Earth, cutting through dense jungles, shifting rivers, and deep fog. For decades, the cross-border movement of people was a reality that successive governments managed or ignored. But with recent state election victories in West Bengal and Assam, placing the ruling BJP in charge of these critical regions, the issue of undocumented immigration has returned to the center of the political agenda. Securing this line requires a constant paramilitary presence. Border security force units patrol these barbed wire corridors, attempting to seal a perimeter that has historically seen thousands of crossings a day. This shift in domestic policy triggered an immediate diplomatic reaction. Bangladesh's Home Minister expressed hope that India would not initiate pushbacks following the elections. India's Ministry of External Affairs issued a swift counter-response. The ministry clarified that the issue is not about pushbacks, but the legal repatriation of illegal immigrants. According to the government, any foreign national staying in the country without authorization must be returned under established bilateral mechanisms. What was once a porous boundary has hardened into a point of diplomatic friction, as both nations now move to define the legal future of the millions living between them. The difficulty of this policy is not found at the fence, but within India's urban centers. Once someone crosses the border, they often vanish into the fabric of some of the densest cities on Earth. Data presented to the Union Law Minister tracks this growth. In 1997, the undocumented population from Bangladesh stood at 10 million people. That number grew to 1.2 crore by 2004. By 2016, estimates indicated the population reached 20 million people. To put 20 million into perspective, that is double the total population of Sweden living undocumented within India's borders. This population requires jobs, infrastructure, and resources, placing a continuous burden on the domestic economy and the limited resources of the bordering states. The volume of this undocumented population makes the prospect of large-scale repatriation a logistical challenge that tests the limits of state infrastructure. The first hurdle is identification. Before any legal process can begin, the government must use biometric technology to verify individuals from within a total population of 1.4 billion people. Even after identification, the receiving country must confirm the individual's citizenship. Currently, over 2,860 nationality verification cases have been pending with the Bangladeshi government for more than 5 years. To understand the difficulty of mass deportation, we can look at the United States, which has spent years attempting to address its own undocumented population. The previous U.S. administration, under Donald Trump, made the removal of undocumented immigrants a primary campaign mandate and a top executive priority. Agencies like ICE were given significant funding and authority to carry out detentions. Yet, despite having a smaller undocumented population of 11 million and a more comprehensive digital data system, the U.S. faced immense costs and slow progress. The U.S. example shows that even with massive funding and advanced tracking, the process is slow. India faces nearly double that number of people with more limited resources and a less centralized data network. Political rhetoric often meets a multi-billion-dollar reality. Detaining and legally processing 20 million people is a long-term commitment that requires more than just a change in leadership. While current debates focus on the economic migration of the past 20 years, environmental shifts are beginning to change the nature of the border. Bangladesh's low-lying geography makes it vulnerable to rising sea levels. Coastal flooding is already displacing communities and reducing the amount of habitable land available. If climate models continue on their current path, the displacement will scale. Estimates suggest that a loss of land could push the number of people seeking to cross the border from 2 crore to 4, 6, or even 10 crore in the coming decades. This pressure will be compounded by regional heat waves and drying river systems, creating a survival crisis that affects the entire subcontinent. As these pressures mount, the demand for a more sophisticated border system grows. Security experts suggest that physical fences must be supplemented with satellite monitoring and integrated tracking to manage the flow of people. The choices made now regarding repatriation and border security will determine how India manages this shift. The country is moving from a period of reactive policy into a future where border management is an essential component